What are the pros and cons to living in Portugal in your 20s? There's no cons. There's no cons. Yo, what's up, man? It's your boy LaBoss. You're on the LaBoss Show. We got another video here today about Portugal, and I felt like holding the mic today, so hopefully it's not too loud. Let's get right into it. Living in Portugal in your 20s. The reason why I want to give this perspective, Portugal has had an influx of retirees, people that have come with families. I'm here to give you another perception in your 20s, you know what I'm saying, as a young bull. The first pro, living here in Portugal, the quality of life. Coming to Portugal, your quality of life is 10x. I don't care where you coming from. You cannot argue with me or tell me that the quality of life in Portugal is one like no other. Everything is slow, laid back. People are going to the beach on a Tuesday. It's just calm and tranquilo. The next thing I would say, especially in Lisbon, or no, excuse me, just Portugal in general, is the weather. That's the next pro. The weather here in Portugal, I would say probably 300 days out of 365 days, the weather in Portugal is amazing. Now, depending on where you grew up or where you came from, that sun be hitting all year around. You just love it. Yo, listen, man. And the winters here in Portugal are honestly not that bad. Growing up in Massachusetts, then living in the UK, coming to Portugal, when it rains a lot, the country goes crazy. I'm over here like, this is nothing. So again, the weather ties into the amazing quality of life. Now, next, the safety. That is another pro. It is one of the safest countries in the world, and you really do not have to look over your shoulder or just worry about or have to think about certain things you have to think about in other countries. Next, the accessibility to travel. That is one of the major pros of Portugal. First, we'll say Lisbon. Lisbon has great transportation in terms of just being able to navigate around the city. You can take a bus, you can take a train, you can take the commuter rail, aka comboio, you can take a ferry, all for low prices compared to a lot of other cities that people come from. Example, London, Paris, Boston, New York, or whatever it is. Now, that's in Lisbon. The price to travel throughout the country is also very affordable. Portugal is not that big of a country, but it has amazing cities all throughout the country. You have the north, you have Jerez, you have down south, you have Algarve, you got Faro, Portimão. There's so many beauties in this country, and the accessibility to travel is just right at your fingertips. Now, the location. The location is superb because just east is all Europe. Within 2 hours, 2-hour flight, you can travel to a bunch of countries in Europe, and then you have Africa right south of Portugal. So arguably, Portugal has not only the means of accessibility to travel, just where it's located is a dime, baby. A dime. Next, health insurance. Life is all about perspectives, especially for those that are coming from the United States of America. The health insurance is one of the main reasons and beauties of being here in Portugal. Now, it's something people may not think about heavily in their 20s versus the people that come here in Portugal with their families. But if you just have, for example, private health insurance, it is 4 times less the price than having health insurance in the United States. Now, that's private. Again, perspectives. The locals do not like the public. I have spoken with a lot of locals, and I have experienced public health insurance here in Portugal. In Lisbon, it is very, very oversaturated because there are so many people from all over that live in Lisbon. And if you can afford it, get private health insurance. Next pro, and honestly, what put the icing on the cake for me is the diversity. The diversity here in Portugal is amazing. You have white, brown, black, yellow, blue, green, pink, whatever you want, whatever you need, baby, I got it. And I'm just like, but no, for real, it's amazing. And one thing I can say about the Portuguese is they are intertwined and living with the foreigners, especially in Lisbon. Now, the reason why I say that, you have diversity everywhere you go. You don't feel segregation amongst different groups of people with living here, especially in Lisbon. Now, that also ties into the food. In Lisbon, Portugal, the capital, whatever food you want, they have it. So it's a beauty. One friend of mine said, one mentor friend says, Lisbon is like being in New York. You have many different cultures. Whatever type of food you're trying to get or try, it's right there. Those are the pros of living in Portugal. Now, the cons, I don't have any. Yo, listen. Eu adoro Portugal muito. Portugal é um país que é muito, muito bom para viver, para viajar e tá tudo. Mas it's not perfect, and everywhere does have its cons. As much as I love Portugal, one thing that I do have to highlight that is a con living in Portugal in your 20s is the salaries. Now, for a lot of locals, they have to unfortunately leave the country. You will find that Portugal's locals have left, and there's country is filled with a lot of older individuals and Portuguese that live here because the younger population have to leave for more opportunities because the salaries are not sustainable for them, which is completely understandable. So that is one major con of living in Portugal in your 20s. So here's what I say to offset that. Get creative. What a lot of locals will do, they'll have foreign jobs and they'll be living in Portugal. A lot of foreigners that have come to Portugal, they are not coming with Portuguese salaries. So yes, that is a con, but find a way to make it work because the pros in Portugal outweigh the cons. Now, the salary situation is not just 20s. This is for all ages in Portugal. 30s, 40s, 50s. People that are working here, their salaries are unfortunately low. My Portuguese professor says, if you live in Portugal, if you live in Lisbon with other currency, you are living best life. Eu concordo. Figure it out. Listen, baby. Hope you guys like this video. It's your boy LaBoss. You're watching The LaBoss Show. Pros and cons of living in Portugal in your 20s. Comment below your thoughts, some other pros, some other cons if I have missed. And stay tuned. Make sure you please subscribe to the channel. Join your boy on his journey here in Portugal. God bless, baby. We out. Aha!